In the book I wrote with Dr. Charles Pellegrino, we follow up more than in the film about the symbol on the facade. The reason is in the movie, I didn't want to get into I didn't want to get too far away from solid facts. Maybe we'll do a follow-up film, and then the minute you start getting to Middle Ages, Templar, secret societies, it gets a little gray, the area. So we stayed away. In the book, we followed it up a little more. What I will say is that I believe there is a connection between this tomb and the pyramid with the eye in it, the all-seeing eye. It's too much of a coincidence that Crusaders go to Jerusalem, they come back, and suddenly you find in their illustrated manuscripts this symbol. And then they're driven underground, and suddenly it becomes a secret symbol of underground societies like the Masons. So it seems that, in a sense, there was a heresy here. Maybe the Templars came across surviving a little Judeo-Christian sect. I mean, imagine that. That at the time, about 1100, there were still people in Jerusalem who secretly followed kind of the Nazarene version of the Jesus movement, that kind of first stage. Now, they wouldn't have advertised that because they were a heresy. They would have been killed. But people say, wow, little sects don't survive for 1,000, years like that. But we know the Nazarenes were still around, the Judeo-Christians, the people with the philosophy of the early followers of Jesus. We know they were still around, when Queen Helena went to Jerusalem to try to find the Church of the Holy Sepulchre and the true cross, because she says, she grabs a bunch of them and tortures one of them and say, where's that cross? So if they're there in the 4th century, that means, when did they disappear? In the 5th, 6th, 7th? Could they have survived 300 years, 400 years beyond what we know? Well, guess what? There's Mandeans in Iraq. Google it, Mandeans. They think John the Baptist is the guy. They're followers of John the Baptist, not Jesus. So little groups survive for hundreds, sometimes thousands of years longer than people think. They think they're way gone, and they're still around. So I think there might be a connection between a surviving Judeo-Christian group, the symbol, the Templars, the Masons. And you can almost, like Hansel and Gretel, you can just follow the little trail of breadcrumbs. You can follow the symbol.